questions. First, good to see everybody. And first of many, I'm sure. First of many, and at the same time, I'm sure as you come into the arena, you smell the paint, you can see guys are working. My theme is going to be remodeling. We're remodeling some of the offices. We're going to remodel the mindset of our players, and at the same time, remodel our fans and get them engaged. Our fans have always been a part of Razorback basketball. And a lot of places you go to, the fans, some fans wait till the team get them going. Well, I know for a fact that the people here, the true Razorback fans, they know how to get their team going. So it's something that I'm looking forward to and looking forward to seeing. March 26th, I guess that's when the day got hired, and it's amazing how time passes. Now we're, I think, October the 12th, and we're 2 days away from opening up official practice, which to me that's the part I want to get to. I think that's when I'm I feel comfortable out there on the floor and working and getting this team ready for 2011, 2012. The guys, we have 10 scholarship players along with Kiko Hagar, and I always say I don't worry about what I don't have. We're going to work with the players that we do have, and we're going to field a team that's going to be competitive. They're going to leave it on the floor each and every night, and with that being said, there's a process, and that process to me, first of all, coming in, we know there's a lot of question marks. There's a lot of question marks, but hopefully as the season progresses, we'll start answering some of those questions pertaining to this basketball team. Again, as I said, it's a process, and what's that process? That process is coming in and hopefully evaluating and assessing what we do have here in terms of the players. And I think there's some pieces here. And when you look at the guys that are coming back, the nucleus, the guys coming back, the seniors, Mike Sanchez, Marvell Waite, I think those guys are real key. Juno, Ricky Scott, Marshawn Cloud, and of course Mardrakus Wade. I think those guys are going to be key. And Kiko Hagar. To me, those are the guys that are going to formulate the core. Now, when you talk about the young guys coming in, the Kai Madden, B.J. Young, Hunter Mickelson, and DeMonte Abram, those guys are freshmen. They hadn't played a single ounce of college basketball. They're not going to be the savior. I think it's going to start with the guys that are here. And hopefully, to keep it freshmen, you want them to come, and hopefully they can come with their own pace. And obviously, these guys got, they feel good about themselves. I mean, they think they're pretty good. But once you get to this college level, it's a little different. The speed of the game, the strength of the game, the size, the competitiveness, the cohesiveness that's got to take place. We got to build a basketball team. So those are some of the things we talk about the process. How do we put all that together? One of the things we've tried to do with our individual workouts is try to develop these guys individually. And then obviously, we had an opportunity to do some team things, but I think from an individual standpoint, just to try to find out what we do have. And then to get them to understand that when you hit that floor, you got to bring it. You got to play hard. You got to leave it on the floor. That's first and foremost. They're going to play for me. They got to be able to come and play hard. And then, of course, I think the process that we're really working on right now is them to compete. They got to compete each and every day. Not only, on the floor, but in the weight room, whatever it entails. And hopefully that could even trickle over into the classroom where they're competing for grades. And then I think if you can get them to doing that and playing together as a team, then I think you're going to have a chance to beat some people. I think if you compete, you're going to give yourself a chance. And with that being said, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, some little bumps along the way. But I think the makeup of a team is when adversity takes place, how do you respond? And that's what I'm trying to find out with this basketball team. We've actually been doing 6 a.m. workouts with conditioning. And today we'll mark the last day of conditioning. I had the liberty of taking them, and they heard so much about Cleveland Hill, so I had the liberty of actually taking them to Cleveland Hill on Friday at 6:30 in the morning. You got to remember now, 6:30 in the morning, that's pretty early there. And we went to the bottom of the hill, and we ran up it, walked down it 6 times. And if that's not mental, that is mental. But the thing about it is amazing because they're no different than the guys that played for us before. Corliss Williamson, Scotty Thurman, you go all the way to Lee Mayberry and those guys. They always complain about it. Oh man, we gotta do this here. But it's amazing when they get to that 5th time going up and that 6th time going up. And then they sit there for probably about 2-3 minutes and they recover. It's like there's a sense of triumph. Like, yeah, we got it. And you know, we got you, coach, we got you. And to me, that's part of that process of building that mindset of, you know, we're not only talking about starting out and getting in the middle part of it, but we're also talking about finishing. And that's, I think that mindset hopefully is going to pay dividends with this basketball team. I'll open up for any questions. I tell you what, I will answer some of you guys. I'm sure you guys want to know about Mike Sanchez. You know, he had a procedure, and that was with his back, and we're thinking he's going to be ready by November 1. It was a procedure that took place, and we feel he'll be back hopefully by the 1st of November to really actively work out with our basketball team.
Mike, what was the injury and when did he have the surgery?
That was, again, it was a procedure to his back, and it took place last week, and he's already had the procedure done. So he is on his way to recovery, and you'll see him today, I'm sure.
With the numbers down like they are, can you play the way you want to play and press as much as you want to press?
Well, I think we're still got to find out a little bit more about this basketball team. We'll probably add some walk-ons, but I think, Nate, you only put 5 of them at a time. I think the key now is I just got to monitor, you know, the things that we do in practice each and every day. We've got to get some guys, some more bodies out there to help our team, but you only play 5 at a time. So with that being said, it's going to allow the young guys, especially, some repetitions in practice. I think hopefully it's going to benefit us in terms of guys getting repetition and learning, kind of learning really, really quick under fire.
You mentioned Cleveland Hill. How's conditioning been? I know a lot of players, this is a lot different for them than they've been through.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's amazing. I've had a couple of guys, man, I'll tell you what, every day, from the first day we started, they actually would start off and they'd lose it. I mean, they'd go and find a little trash can and throw up a couple of times, and then come back and just get through it. The thing is that I hadn't had anyone late for conditioning, and that takes place in the morning. And it's pretty intense. One thing they found out that anytime they hit that floor out there, the intensity just picks up many, many notches. And so I think they looked at it as a challenge. And you know, some days are better than others, but for the most part, I can always tell when they're starting to pick it up a little bit, when they're starting to get their wind. And the thing about it is conditioning is one thing, but then now there's another type of condition is going to take place. And what is that? Playing, you know, when you actually play, because that's a different kind. You're just running and sprinting and touching lines and all that. So, so they've gotten past this phase here. Now we go to another phase, and that is conditioning for games. Because, you know, when you look at October the 12th, we actually open up on November the 11th. That's less than a month away. So you can imagine there's a lot of work to be done, especially when you're trying to assemble a team. And we want to be ready to come out of the chutes, and when the games start, we want to come out of the chute really, really hard and getting after people. And again, we got to find an identity. What's this team for? What's going to be make up this team? This is all new to these guys. So there's going to be it's going to be interesting to see. It's the ultimate challenge, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to seeing these guys really develop and get better and become closer in terms of being a team.
Is there a danger with the expectations maybe from the fans being too high for these freshmen, and how do you manage that?
Well, I think number one is what this coach, what I expect, and you know, I want us to be, the thing I expect more than anything else is us to go out and compete and get better each and every day. You know, so we start out Friday, when we come back Saturday, we're going to have 2 workouts. Let's see if we can get better than we were the day before. I think if we just stay, I'm a day-to-day person. So I live the next day, I want to get better. And then as we start the games, we'll talk about the games. And I think you stay on that course there, I think the games will take care of themselves. You know, I don't worry about the winning and losing. What I do worry about it is our guys going out there competing and playing an unselfish style of basketball, a style of basketball that's predicated on defense. utilizing depth, utilizing energy. I think energy is important. Sharing the basketball, deflection, stealing the basketball. If we do all the blue-collar things, I think we're going to be okay. But when you talk about expectations, you know, no one expects more out of this team and himself than I. But at the same time, the things that we can control is the day-to-day process. And that's what we're going to keep our guys into the present.
You talk about maybe each of those freshmen, just give a little scouting report on what you've seen from them so far, what your take is on each one.
Well, I'll tell you what, Hunter Mickelson, he came in this summer. They all came in this summer, and I think that was a plus because it gave them opportunity to kind of make an adjustment to college basketball, to the college atmosphere. They were in the weights in summer, and this summer, actually, Hunter picked up 30 pounds. And so you don't know how that 30 pounds is going to go. It could be just pounds that's on you, or you can utilize from the standpoint of his strength. And I think it's a combination. And I tell you, in the workouts here lately, he's been pretty. He can run for a guy's size, and Hunter has very good hands for a big guy. And I think that's a great asset. You know, you can recall guys that we've had here. Alvin Miller, a guy that had a great pair of hands. You get a big guy that got a good pair of hands, and that can pass and see. And he has a nice touch. And so the thing that's got to continue for him is the speed of the game and the strength of the game. We did some scrimmaging, and in those scrimmages, he's been our leading rebounder. It's amazing. The guy, he just goes to the glass and finds the basketball. Kai Madden, Kai is one of those versatile guys. He's real smooth. You know, sometimes the game comes easy to guys when it's real smooth. He's precise in what he does. He's sneaky athletic. He's really sneaky athletic. I think he got a chance to be a very, very good defensive player. And he has good basketball IQ. Again, it gets back down to the strength. And not only that, the pounding of the strength of the game and the speed of the game. And obviously, I think the one thing that's got to be is can guys, go more than 2 to 3 minutes. A lot of times the guys hit the wall and they just kind of stop. And that's what freshmen do. They can go hard for about 2 or 3 minutes and they think they gave you everything they got, and then boom, and that's it. But we got to get them to where they can go long with it. And that's why we're at this stage right now. When we start practice. BJ Young, this guy's never lost for words. I mean, this guy must talk in his sleep, man. This guy is, he is the ultimate competitor. That's one thing about him. You knock him down today, he's going to be back there tomorrow. He's right there in your face. And, got a tremendous first step, really quick. Can really score. I mean, there are guys that can score. And, of course, he scored a ton in high school. So it remains to be seen, can he do those things at this level? And we'll have a better idea as we go. But the thing about it, I think he can be a very good player. 6'4", pretty athletic. He'll be one of those high-flying guys. He'll have some highlights that you guys will be recording throughout the year. And, of course, Devontae Abrams, left-handed, about 6'8", I think he's about 250 right now. And right now he's kind of proud of his body because, he was a little pudgy dude, and now he's kind of toned it up. So he walks around and he has on those little spandex shirts on. He's real tight. And, tell you what, the thing I like about him, he don't mind the physical part of the game. And I think he's learning more so about, maybe getting up and down the floor. Some guys, big guys especially, they go up about 4 or 5 times, man. They're spent. And, of course, he's trying to push himself to where he can get up and down. He can score in the low post. He's pretty skilled for a big guy. And our guys, and you'll see these guys develop, they're going to be able to handle the basketball in open court. And I've seen him do that, where he can take it and go behind his back and make a nice pass. So again, those guys bring some potential. They bring some things to the table. And that's why I said what they did was in high school. It remains to see what would take place at this level.
Coach, your first go around here, and it really was hog heaven from a win standpoint, from a fan support standpoint, and it'd be hog heaven again.
Oh, without a doubt. That's my vision. That's my vision. That's why I said we'll remodel. This is a new era. What took place here the last few years, that happened. I mean, now we're at another point in Razorback basketball history, and my goal is to take it to the top. I think we have an excellent staff here. Guys are on the same page. I think our guys are going to see those guys. They're going to work together. So we're going to work tirelessly to get Razorback basketball to the top. I think even as we sit here in this room, in this state, people around the country are taking notice as well. They're looking to see what's going to take place, and trust me, we're working to get to that point.
You talked about the pieces that you have coming back, Coach, and you also talked about finding your identity. Do you know something now about your team, things that you think you're going to have, or there are going to be some challenges for you to find?
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the things I've always had a guy that, you know can knock down shots. I mean, you go back, Pat Bradley, Al Dillard, Scotty Thurman, even on my teams at Missouri, Matt Lawrence, a guy could, I mean, we're pushing the basketball and we hit that baseline and flatten that defense. We got a guy stepping in and knocking shots down. I mean, we've got to identify somebody who can really knock the shots, put the ball in the hole. I think we're going to be a team that can attack. We're going to have versatile basketball players. I think a guy like Marshawn, he got a chance to be a tough matchup. You know, he's got his weight down. He's a good basketball player, and hopefully this can be, you know, his coming out party again. You know, he had a pretty good freshman year, but you know what? It's amazing because even though he had a good freshman year, he felt like because the team didn't do well, it was okay. And so now he's going to have an opportunity now to be his role will change. And I think that's where it's going to come to. We got to get guys to identify their roles and what they bring to the table for this basketball team. But we're going to be a team that's, I think defensively, we're going to have to rely on our defense early on. And maybe that defense can create some immediate offense. But we want to be an attacking team. But, you know, we're not a big team, so therefore, you know, always rebounding is going to be a concern. Can we match people in terms of going here? But the thing I like about it, we got big guards. You look at Ricky Scott, 6'4", athletic. Mardrakus Wade, athletic. Even Kai and BJ. Those guys are good-sized guards, so they're going to have to get in there and help us rebound. And I think that even makes our fast break even more effective. Marvell Wade, I'll tell you what, of all the guys, I think he's probably made the most improvement from day one to where we are right now. I like his quickness. He's got quick bounce, his athletic ability. He can block shots. He thinks he can shoot better than he actually can. It's amazing how guys can fool you one day. My first day we were working him out, man, I bet you the guy didn't miss a shot, man. I mean, and he's shooting threes, dunking. And then I came the next day and he wasn't doing all that. But what I'm saying is I think the potential is there. And so it's amazing when you'll see some of these guys in a different light because now they're going to play with that confidence. Confidence has a lot to do with basketball. And I'm one of those guys, I believe every guy on our team is going to be able to help our basketball team. And they're going to have the opportunity. I always said, you know, they can learn something in one day. Some can learn in an hour, some can learn in a month, week, year. The ones that learn the fastest are the ones that are going to have a chance to get out there and help us win. And again, I can't say enough about how hard these guys are working. And hopefully that can translate into some positive things happening for them.
Mike, with everything being new, how important is it to find a leader early on?
I think that's going to be very, very important. I think the sooner we get the leadership role established, and leadership is something that's not given. You know, I can sit here and say, you know what, Drew Novus is going to be our leader. And you would think, you know, coming back, a guy that started, played quite a bit as a point guard, and we've even sat down and talked about it. But I think that's something he's got to earn. I mean, he's got to earn it, you know, from the players himself and how he conducts himself on and off the floor. And I think he's doing some good things on the floor. He's got to be a leader from that standpoint. And so therefore, when he says something, it means it. And I think also for the coaching staff. So there are some other guys. I think Mike Sanchez. He's a guy that's been around here for, this is his, what, fifth year? And he wants some good things to take place. I mean, he's excited about the season. And so you can imagine him being hurt at this stage. He's kind of, he's not down, but you know, he wish he was out there. And I want guys, that's how I want them to feel. They want to be back out there and help this team. So there are some guys got to really step up. The leadership's got to step up, and then I think the ownership